Have you ever wondered how plants make their food? It's a curiosity that has piqued the interest of many throughout the ages. Plants, unlike animals, don't roam around in search of food. They don't hunt, they don't gather, they stand still, reaching out to the sky with their branches and leaves. So how do they survive? What's their secret to staying nourished and growing? The answer to these questions lies in a remarkable process known as photosynthesis. This process, exclusive to plants and some microorganisms, is their unique way of preparing food. It's not your typical cooking. It's a complex biochemical process that harnesses energy from the sun and transforms it into nourishment. It's their own little solar-powered kitchen, serving up a feast of energy that not only sustains them, but also supports life on Earth as we know it. Intriguing, isn't it? Let's dive into the fascinating process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis might sound like a big complex word, but it's really not that complicated. Let's break it down. The term photosynthesis comes from the Greek words photo, which means light, and synthesis, which means putting together. So when we put it all together, photosynthesis quite literally means putting together with light. And that's exactly what plants are doing in this process. Imagine a plant as a little green factory powered by sunlight. The process of photosynthesis is how these factories convert light energy, usually from the sun, into chemical energy. This chemical energy is stored in the form of sugar molecules that the plant creates from the simplest ingredients: water and carbon dioxide. Think of the sun as the power source, like the electricity that powers your home. Just as your home appliances convert electrical energy into heat, motion, and other forms of energy, plants convert sunlight into chemical energy. This chemical energy is stored and can be later released to fuel the plant's activities. But how does a plant eat sunlight, you might ask? Well, plants have a special molecule called chlorophyll that can absorb light energy. Chlorophyll is what gives plants their green color, and it's the key player in this energy conversion process. When sunlight hits the chlorophyll in the plant's cells, the energy from the light kickstarts a chemical reaction. This reaction combines water and carbon dioxide to create glucose, a type of sugar, and oxygen. So, in essence, photosynthesis is a process that allows plants to capture sunlight and use it to make their own food. It's a beautiful and complex system that powers life as we know it, turning sunlight into the energy that fuels the living world. So, in simple terms, photosynthesis is like a plant's kitchen, where it cooks its food with the help of sunlight. Now, every cooking process needs some ingredients, right? So what do plants need for photosynthesis? Just like any chef in a kitchen, nature too has its own recipe for creating food. This recipe is called photosynthesis, and it requires 3 primary ingredients: sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. Firstly, let's talk about sunlight. The sun is the ultimate source of energy for all life on Earth. In photosynthesis, plants harness the sun's energy, using it to power the chemical reactions that transform water and carbon dioxide into glucose, a type of sugar that plants use as a source of energy. This solar energy is captured by a pigment called chlorophyll, which gives plants their green color. Next up, we have water. Plants draw water from the soil through their roots. This water is then transported up to the leaves, where it is used in the photosynthesis process. Water not only provides the hydrogen needed to make glucose, but it also helps keep the plant hydrated and supports the plant's structure. The third ingredient in this recipe is carbon dioxide. Plants breathe in carbon dioxide from the air through tiny openings in their leaves called stomata. Just as we humans need oxygen to survive, plants need carbon dioxide. It provides the carbon necessary to produce glucose during photosynthesis. So, to sum up, photosynthesis requires sunlight for energy, water for hydration and providing hydrogen, and carbon dioxide for supplying carbon. It's a simple yet amazingly efficient process. The beauty of it is that while we humans and most other organisms create waste products that can harm the environment, plants, through photosynthesis, absorb harmful carbon dioxide and release oxygen, which benefits us all. With these ingredients in place, the plant is ready to start cooking, or in this case, photosynthesizing. It's a fascinating process that enables life as we know it. So, next time you're out in nature, take a moment to appreciate the incredible kitchen that plants operate, right under the sun. So, how do plants transform sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide into food? Let's dive into the heart of the matter, the 2 main stages of photosynthesis. The first stage is the light-dependent reactions. As the name suggests, this part of photosynthesis is entirely dependent on light. The process kicks off in the chloroplasts, specifically in the thylakoids, which are like tiny solar panels within the plant cells. When sunlight hits these thylakoids, it excites the electrons within the chlorophyll, a green pigment that absorbs light. This energy is then used to split water molecules into oxygen, electrons, and hydrogen ions. Oxygen is released as a byproduct, which is pretty important for, well, just about every living organism that breathes. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, where does the glucose come in? Well, that brings us to the second stage of photosynthesis, the Calvin cycle, also known as the light-independent reactions. The Calvin cycle is like a sophisticated chemical assembly line that operates even when the sun isn't shining. It's in this stage that the plant uses the energy from the light-dependent reactions and carbon dioxide from the atmosphere to create glucose. You can think of glucose as the plant's food or energy source. Here's how it works. The Calvin cycle begins with a molecule called RuBP, or ribulose biphosphate, for the scientifically inclined. This molecule combines with carbon dioxide in a process called carbon fixation. The result is a 6-carbon compound that quickly splits into 2 3-carbon compounds. Next, these 3-carbon compounds are converted into higher energy forms with the help of ATP and NADPH, 2 energy-rich compounds produced in the light-dependent reactions. Finally, one of these high-energy 3-carbon compounds exits the cycle to be converted into glucose, while the remaining compounds are recycled to regenerate RuBP, and the cycle begins anew. This process is continuously repeated, producing glucose molecules that the plant uses for growth, repair, and energy. It's a round-the-clock operation, a testament to the efficiency and endurance of plants. In essence, photosynthesis is a delicate, intricate dance of light and chemicals, a process that has been perfected over billions of years of evolution. It's the reason plants are the only organisms capable of making their own food, and it's the foundation of life as we know it. So the next time you find yourself enjoying a sunny afternoon, take a moment to appreciate the silent symphony of photosynthesis that's playing out in every leaf and blade of grass around you. The end product of this process is glucose, which is the energy source for plants, and oxygen, which is a vital byproduct for all aerobic organisms. Why should we care about photosynthesis? Well, let's unwrap the layers of this question together. Photosynthesis is not just a scientific term or a process that plants undergo, it's a lifeline, a crucial cog in the wheel of life that keeps our planet functioning. It's the green engine that powers life on Earth, and it does so in more ways than one. Firstly, photosynthesis is the primary producer of food and oxygen, 2 essentials of life. Plants, through photosynthesis, convert sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide into glucose, which is food for them and many other organisms. In this process, oxygen, a byproduct, is released into the atmosphere. This oxygen is what we and all other animals breathe in to live, but that's not all. Photosynthesis also plays a significant role in the global carbon cycle. It's like the Earth's natural air purifier. The process helps to regulate the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Plants absorb carbon dioxide, one of the primary greenhouse gases, to carry out photosynthesis. This absorption reduces the concentration of this gas in the atmosphere, helping to mitigate climate change. The balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is a delicate one. Too much carbon dioxide can lead to global warming, while too little oxygen can make it difficult for life to survive. Photosynthesis helps to maintain this balance, ensuring a stable and livable climate for all creatures. So when we talk about the importance of photosynthesis, we are talking about the very foundation of life on Earth. It's not just about plants making their food, it's about the air we breathe, the food we eat, and the climate we live in. It's about the survival and thriving of life on our planet. So now you see, photosynthesis is not just a plant's way of making food, but a vital process that upholds life on Earth.